guys, welcome back to Journey Teachers. So today we have Parikshit with us. Parikshit, would you like to introduce yourself?
So, hello everyone. My name is Parikshit. Currently, I am studying at Ajim Premji University, MA Education program. I have been a student of English literature, and I started writing poetry around 2-3 years back, and I have published my poetry collection, that is Labzon Ki Mehak, which is a collection of 99 poems. You must be thinking, why 99? Why not 100? So there is a small message which I wanted to deliver with my poetry book. So that was, poetry is never complete or never perfect, but there is beauty in imperfections which poetry comes with. So that is the idea behind coming with 99 poems, and the title of my book is Labzon Ki Mehak. So there is a fragrance which comes from words, which comes from poetry. So I thought, ki why not? So that's all about me. Thank you so much.
That's really wonderful that you have been writing, you have been in your poetry journey, and the message you talked about is really amazing. And the message you talked about is really amazing, that you wanted to convey the idea of that there's imperfection in whatever we do, and we should embrace that. So I'm really glad to have you here. Thank you so much for coming here. So my first question to you would be, how did you actually start writing, and what was the inspiration behind being a poet? How does the idea come? All of that.
So I would say it's not like that. I already know that I'm going to write something or I will publish my book, because when I started my journey as a literature student, I used to read a lot of poets. I used to praise the poetry, but it was an instance that I visited a cafe to have a cup of chai, and if you know me, you know me very well that I am fond of tea. So I visited a cafe to have a cup of tea, and at that time only it started raining, as it was the month of July, August. So it started raining, and it reminded me of a childhood instance, because when I used to stay in my village, during rains it used to be drops inside my village as well, inside my house as well. So it reminded me of those moments, it reminded me of my childhood, and at that point only I wrote my first poem, which was not a poem at that point of time, because it was mix of words or something which was coming from within. So it was the first time when I wrote something, and I would like to recite 2 to 3 lines of that. I don't know the whole poem, but it was like that. बारिश की बूंदों को अनूठे अंदाज में बारिश की बूंदों को अनूठे अंदाज में कश्तियों में मापने को दिल करता है, आज फिर बचपन के सफ़र में लौट चलने को दिल करता है.
Oh, that's really wonderful, and that's so sweet actually. That it's really wonderful. These lines are so heart touching. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so that journey has been quite fruitful. The kind of beginning you got for your poetry journey has been quite inspirational for all of us. So thank you so much for sharing that. So I would like to know more about your book as well, as said. So how was your publishing process, and what has been the marketing that you have been doing for the book? It would be really inspiring for the aspiring writers and students who want to actually write their book and make it a hit.
So if I talk about my book, so it was never an idea that I will publish a book. So it was during COVID that I got a plenty of time to read a lot of poems, stories, and also to write my poetry. So it was an instance that one of the publishers approached me that you are writing good and we want to publish a book. So in that way, that the idea of publishing a book came up to me. And if you talk about marketing, so I feel marketing is something which an author or poet should know, but if you're writing and you're not knowing about the marketing thing, it's quite difficult to reach out to the readers. It's quite difficult to be able to read by someone else. So what I did, I was quite active in Facebook. I had a lot of readers there. There were at least 40-50 people who used to come across my poem, who used to appreciate me. So I thought at least if 40-50 people will read my book, I will be very happy. So when my book got published, I started sharing on Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. And apart from that, I started presenting my book to those people who were frequent readers of my poetry, along with a handwritten note, and it's like writing a chitti to them. So in that way, I started presenting my books to them, and it was like a it was mouth publishing, that one people read the book and he or she suggested someone else. So in that way, uh, my book reached the numbers of 150 to 200 people. So that was quite happy moment for me to be able to read by so many people, and in such a way that I published my book, and I did marketing, not in a marketing way, but by building the relationship with people, by building the relationship with readers. So in that way it worked.
That's really so good actually, that you have been able to present your book to so many people and you have been receiving recognition from you. So how does it actually feel to kind of receive recognition for your work and be inspirational to many others, especially your juniors and the people who actually look up to you?
Okay, so I don't feel that I am an inspiration to anybody, because writing poetry is something which you don't do for others. It is for you, because if you are feeling something, if you are coming up with emotions which you want to release, either you can talk with someone, either if you are an introvert you can write it. So I felt that apart from sharing with someone else, I should write it down. So in that way I started writing. But after publishing my book, after getting all that appreciation, and one thing I want to add, when I published my book, I was quite nervous that if anybody is going to purchase it or not, if it will work well or not. So it was there. I was anxious about it, but within 1 to 2 weeks of publishing the book, my poetry collection, that is Labzon Ki Mehak, got into top 100 poetry collection in Amazon, and that was such a moment for me, that because we always doubt ourselves, like, am I good enough? Will I be able to do it or not? So when that happened, that I felt ki, okay, if I am able to do it, anybody can. So in that way, I think it went well for me, and I hope anybody who is watching this video, anybody who is following her, if you think that writing poetry or writing a story is something very typical, or something God gifted, it's not like that. I never wrote poetry or stories during my school days, and I always feel very amazing to see that someone is able to write his or her ideas or emotions. But when I started writing, I felt that it's a common thing. Like, if you are coming up with ideas, if you are coming up with emotions, anybody can write. And thank you so much for asking this question.
It's really a practice of practicing and expressing what you are feeling, your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings in the form of poetry, rather than sharing it with actual human beings around you.
Yeah.
So that is what poetry actually means, and it's a beautiful essence of emotions where you put in your values, your observations, all of that. So it's like really a wonderful collection of so much, and I'm so glad to share your experiences with our audience, and myself experience that what achievements you have been sharing. So that's really wonderful, and thank you so much for sharing that. So my next question would be like, what do you do in case of you get maybe you don't get any ideas, you suffer from creative block, writer's block. So what do you do in that case? Where does the ideas come from? How do you select the particular topic to write the poetry on, the poem on?
Okay, so I don't know what term you used. Like, can you repeat that term, poet? I mean, the moment when you're not getting idea.
So the moment when anybody is like got over with the ideas, they aren't getting any more ideas, we generally refer to it as the writer's block, or
Okay,
maybe the
okay.
creative's block.
Yeah. So it's a new word for me.
Okay.
Like not a new word, but to be able to comprehend that, to be able to know that stage. So
Yeah.
I can say that I am currently into that stage because I came for my higher education and I'm not able to get enough time or not able to write down my emotions in that manner which I used to do earlier. So what I feel about it is that if you're not coming up with idea or if you're not coming up with emotions, still you want to write, maybe you can write it. But what I feel from my side is that if you're writing for the sake of writing, you will not be able to write a good poetry or a good story or whatever you feel is like coming up with value. If you're forcing yourself to write, then I would say don't write. And it's the moment when it comes to you, it's the moment when it's like it's an urge to write that thing. Only then you should write, and only then you will be able to connect with your emotions. You will be able to uh, make justice with poetry. So I feel this idea will work well for me and also for you. So yeah, that it is.
Definitely, that actually makes sense, and you can also observe your surroundings, and
Yeah.
what have you been feeling throughout. Maybe, for example, if you're in a college, what are the things going around you? So poetry is not just about just thinking, fixing a particular time, and then getting the idea, but randomly by observing things, by doing your daily life task, you can get anything and everything, and you never know when the idea comes to you exactly. So maybe it can come in our dreams as well, right?
Yeah.
So it can be related to anything and it can come anytime. So be prepared for that. I think we would also say that a writer or a poet is never off duty, right? He's
Yeah.
always his mind is kind of always thinking and processing the surroundings around, and what to write next, and how can I improve my writing what I have already
Yeah.
written. So that's really the responsibility, I guess, of the writer as well, to make good things for the readers to actually appreciate and the readers to actually resonate with your writing. So that's really important, and that's a wonderful piece of advice as well. So thank you so much, Parikshit, for coming here and sharing your writing journey with us, and it was really insightful. Thank you so much.
Before ending this, I would like to add one idea which I think the last question I would have addressed, but I missed this. So if you feel that you are not coming up with idea, or if you're not able to connect with your emotions, because in the day-to-day life we go with a lot of emotions, a lot of ups and downs happens. But what I do for myself, not for the sake of writing only, but for the sake of peace. Uh, in the evening time, I go to the nearby places to have a chai or something else. But what I do that I put my phone aside, or either I keep a light music and I keep on walking for half an hour. And at that point of time, I start thinking like what has happened today and what I want to do in upcoming days. So in that point of time, some ideas come to me, some emotions get triggers. So at that point of time, sometimes it happens that I'm able to create something, I'm able to think something differently. So this is a way which works for me to be able to like to walk around, like not with friends. It's a solitude journey, like you are just walking along, you're just walking along and you are like thinking about something. It's not that I have decided, okay, I will think about this. I just go with the flow, I just go spontaneous. So in that way, sometimes I come up with a new thing, a new poetry, a new idea. So that is the thing which works for me. I hope it will work for you as well.
Definitely. So thank you for sharing that, because it's really important to reflect on what you have been doing the entire day, and how was your day, what are you grateful for, what is something that you want to improve the next particular day. So that is really important to actually think and reflect upon, and spend time with yourself as much as you can. Then only you will be able to discover yourself and explore your purpose more clearly. So that's really brilliant, and thank you so much for sharing that. I will also drop the link to his book in the description below. You guys can check it out. So, would you want to tell them to subscribe to my channel?
So thank you so much for listening this, and please do subscribe to her channel. And she is quite a good speaker. I'm already fascinated by the way she speaks, and like I feel this is my first interview, like in a kind of interview which happens to an author. So thank you so much to Kriti for offering this space to me and to be able to interact with you guys. And thanks a lot. And please do subscribe to her channel. And thanks you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Parikshit, for telling them to subscribe to my channel. And thank you so much. Please do so. Bye.